हिमांशु तूने देख ली क्या गंगूबाई? गुड.
तुम लोग दोनों बात करना, मैं सुनूंगा.
पहले गंगूबाई का ही बात करें या पहले धुई की बात करें?
पहले गंगूबाई की बात कर लेते हैं, जिससे कि we'll put it out of the way and then we'll move on.
Yeah.
वैसे भी नॉन
Okay, we
स्पॉइलर है
are
तो
live.
छोटा
We
ही
are
रखता है.
live.
We are live.
Let me just. I'll only share it. I've shared it on the group already.
Okay, great.
Just give a few moments for people to join.
Hey guys, we are live, right?
Yeah, we are.
Can we also talk about the attack that Vivek Agnihotri made at Film Companion? Did you guys watch that?
Actually, yeah, there's a lot to talk about this. I also want to talk about
मुझे लगा
the
तो बोलेगा
new.
था अटैक ऑन by Russia, on Ukraine. उसके बाद नहीं
Wow,
हटा.
that's another attack.
क्या बात
Talk
करेंगे?
about. Also, there is. I wanted to talk to you guys about Lockup and Kangana Ranaut's new show
Yeah.
featuring Munawar Faruqi. So, usually on our podcast in the live stream, पहले 10 मिनट ज़्यादा लोग आते नहीं, तब तक we can do all this. The early movers, we can give them some of our takes.
Or for
on this.
people who will, screenshot this after 4 years. ये देखो.
That's fine. That's fine. 2 or 4 years later, who knows where the world will be. So yeah. So yeah. Anyway, like, what do we start off with?
So let's start off with Vivek Agnihotri.
Great. Always.
So I mean, just to put these things in context, I mean, Kashmir Files करके एक movie आ रही है, which is Vivek Agnihotri's version of the Kashmiri Exodus and the tragedy, and he is उसने claim किया, वो वाला वीडियो तुम लोगों ने देखा है where he's claimed
मैंने
like allegations
about अनुपमा चोपड़ा, उसका मैंने आधा वीडियो देखा, which was damn. No, I watched till the point where he searches for Kashmir Files on and it only says check out our review of क्या कहते हैं यार उसकी मूवी कौन सी जो हमने रिव्यू भी की थी अपने पॉडकास्ट में, Tashkent Files. हाँ, amazing. Yeah, I kind of died laughing there only. I was like, I don't need to see anymore. Dude,
I didn't see the video. Tell me now, what is it?
It's such a self goal. That video is a self goal. Basically, Himanshu, Vivek Agnihotri has an allegation. Film Companion, which is one of the biggest, sort of YouTube channel connected to the film world also, very directly. So they do their best to promote only the films of a certain group claimed by Vivek Agnihotri. Not that there is a
political
lot of lies
group
in that.
or like
no, like Karan Johar, Alia Bhatt, that whole, or
Nepo gang.
Deepika Padukone, Nepo, I don't know, Deepika Padukone is not Nepo gang, but that you get the scene, right?
Mainstream,
yeah.
Like,
Bandra to Malabar Hill, Bollywood, basically is what he's talking about. And he's claiming that these, not claiming, वो क्या करता है वीडियो में ट्विटर पे जाता है and he searches Film Companion and गहराइयाँ. तो मतलब there are like some 30 posts, some insane amount of articles, analysis, interviews, discussions, whatever. और कश्मीर फाइल सर्च करते हो, खाली पुरानी फिल्म का रिव्यू मिलता है उसको.
The trailer of Kashmir Files just dropped. Check out our review of its predecessor.
हाँ. तो मैं कहता हूँ कि देख बायस तो है, बट कुछ जगह पर बायस होना जरूरी भी होता है ना. मतलब I'm just saying, like, why should nobody owes you? I don't understand this demented thinking. Like, nobody owes you coverage, right? Isn't that your responsibility as a film? Which he's clearly trying to get coverage via this, right? Yeah. Which you'll notice he does a controversy right before every film release, and I know a lot of people do it also, but he does it in the most fuck all transparent way possible. Okay, because he's also a fool in my opinion. So
I do think though that people
trailer कैसा लगा तुम लोगों को? लेकिन
मैं कह रहा था, sorry, can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Tell me.
मैं कह रहा हूँ, but I do think that people talk about गहराइयाँ a little too much. They give it a little too much importance than it deserves, I feel.
100%. Actually, don't you guys also feel sometimes in the middle of this, as people who are working also in Bombay, don't you guys feel a sense of confusion? Because clearly, you don't want to associate yourself with nutties like Agnihotri, but you see some truth in what he's saying, right? Like, these people work only on their connections, only on their like not even coming to Gangubai, we'll talk about that later, but Alia Bhatt, I'm pretty sure, got the role because she's Alia Bhatt. I mean, it's not. She's a good actor in general, but like really, this role with her that didn't really work for me, at least. I don't know about other people, but I'm not saying she did it badly. I'm not saying the blame is with her, but that there are other people who could do it way better. I know for a fact.
And also, I think, see, that's the thing with conspiracy theorists, right? Is they catch on to some truth and then they extrapolate to something like stupid, you know? So that's what even Agnihotri does. Like, there is some truth to what he's saying, which is why people still listen to him.
Correct.
But then he immediately jumps the gun and calls them urban Naxals because they did not talk about Kashmir files. So I don't know. Although, I mean, what do you think about the trailer, as you said?
Just give me a second. Okay?
Yeah.
I saw the trailer.
What did you think?
Yeah, I feel like I'm not so versed with the whole situation. So ऐसे कुछ comment करना is wrong, right? But I've seen Tashkent Files and I feel like that film was propagating some, random ideas, which were basically conspiracy ideas, So I know Tashkent Files को तो इतना cred नहीं मिलता है. Like we have spoken about that before. Now Kashmir Files, just trailer देख के तो मैं बोल नहीं सकता कि is it a credible story or not? Maybe somebody can explain it better. Maybe you guys can. But I didn't find any particular flaw. Like ऐसे कुछ pinpoint नहीं कर सकते. अच्छा तुम लोग बोलो फिर.
I got a massive flashback. I got PTSD of the second half of Bharat will relate of Buddha in a traffic jam.
Oh yeah.
कोई भी नक्सल हो सकता है. कोई भी
नक्सल हो सकता है.
Yeah, it's like that Vivek Agnihotry's attempt to create confusion is to confuse himself and his characters completely. It's not a cleverly done political this. It's just like you can see in the movie also they're trying to attack like the Azadi slogan, which again of course is associated with the Exodus to begin with. But the way he extrapolates stuff is very, very disingenuous. It's clearly like
and I also feel it's insincere to its own cause. I feel this is my again, maybe if you just look at it from अच्छा मैंने इसकी कोई फिल्म नहीं देखी, सिर्फ मैंने ट्रेलर देखा, तो maybe I am wrong in saying this, but knowing his history, knowing who he is and knowing the kind of films he makes, I feel at the end of the day the motive for every film, behind every film, is to show himself as a victim than the actual issue. And if you remember Tashkent Files, it starts off as being this story which will uncover the mysterious death of Lal Bahadur Shastri, and it ends up being like weird anti-Congress, film. So it serves something else, and it starts off as something else.
Also, a woefully bad understanding of Indian politics.
Exactly. Very childish. Like
very childish.
फिर उसने ऐसा कर दिया, फिर उसने ऐसा कर, like that. Like how as kids you post.
Correct. For example, there is a moment in this film. By the way, we're talking about Kashmir Files. Kashmir Files की बात कर रहे हैं हम लोग. We thought we'll wait for people to come before we get to our main topic. But not Kashmir Files. There's a moment in Tashkent Files where the protagonist is meeting while she's uncovering all this stuff. She's meeting a present day politician who's formed a committee, right? And that's Nasruddin Shah. And then Nasruddin Shah is acting very congressy, okay? Yeah. But I'm like, present day to BJP power mein. So exactly. I'm like, what are you even? How did you not give the script a passover or like a run over once again? Maybe you wrote it 10 years ago and now you're making it. Like, I don't think he understood the complexities of what he was only trying to talk about. Also, maybe it's like the same thing with the left, or this thing, like just leave important topics to good filmmakers. No? Like just maybe understand who you are, where you come from, all of that. But who am I to tell anyone what to do? It's fun always to watch expose videos. So 12 people watching right now. Maybe we can come to our topics for today.
Wow, only 12 people. What are we doing?
12. Yeah.
Last time it was like 50 or something.
Yeah. We did. I think it was because Gairaiya was being talked about so much. So maybe after all, it wasn't Arunoma Chopra.
Yeah.
or maybe we should thank Anupama Chopra because maybe she did hype the film and we also got some crumbs from that. But meanwhile, please like the stream and we can move on to what do you guys want to discuss first? Dhuin, which is a film by Achal Mishra. It can be watched on the Mumbai Film Festival website till 12 tonight.
No, till 12 tomorrow, I think.
Till 12 tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah.
Is it? So that, and you can watch it for free. And I liked it. And the other film is, of course, Gangubai Kathiawadi, which will come on Netflix, I assume, and it's also in theaters. We're not going to do spoilers, even though neither of these films, I think, are spoilery. Exactly. So let's talk about which one, guys, because Himanshu has not seen Gangubai. So
पहले Gangubai के बारे में मुझे बताओ. I want to hear what it's like.
Bharat, you want to give a short summary of the film?
Okay, so Gangubai Kathiawadi is essentially based on a segment in a book by S. Hussain Zaidi, and it's based on a real life figure. I have not read that chapter of that book. Aditya, have you read the actual?
I've read the book. I've read the book years ago. I don't remember that chapter, honestly speaking.
Yeah. It's called the Mafia Queens of India or
Mumbai. Mafia Queens of Mumbai. It's a fairly good book. It's fun to read about like a very female perspective of the whole mafia world of Mumbai till the 2000s. And I don't particularly remember this, so I remember it vaguely. But like the book, I don't think has much influence because the film is something out of Bhansali's whatever.
But it's like co-produced or executive produced by S. Hussain Zaidi.
He does that now. I think he's pretty much become like a Bollywood writer in that sense. Now half of his movies or books or whatever. Also, a lot of people accuse him also of being like a not a sympathizer, but being a bit of a shill for, and I'm just claiming this, like other people have said this, smarter people than me, that he's a bit of a shill for the Mumbai police. Like he has sort of dressed up with his books, Mumbai, and I've read multiple of his books, dressed up the Mumbai police in a way more flashier light than they deserve. And that is something I realized when I read The Silent Coup, which I had recommended a few episodes ago also. Yeah. So it pulls some punches basically. All his books on the Mumbai police. But yeah, that's a very interesting book. People should read that as well. So the film. Yeah.
Essentially the film is about this woman who becomes like this president of the association at Kamathipura, which is the red light or red light district.
It still is, I believe. I don't know. I think so. Yeah.
The red light district of Mumbai. So, and how she sort of gets drawn into this world, and to the point that she becomes like almost like a ruler of this place, like a mafia queen. That's the purview of the story. Even though I don't think there is any mafiaism shown in the film. It's a complete. I felt it was like a Sanju treatment. Usko bas bola mafia queen. Literally once she's called a mafia queen, that's it. She never does anything that is even remotely similar to what a mafia person would do, right?
Nothing illegal, right?
Nothing. She just does prostitution. Like she runs a
brothel.
The union, right?
Yeah. No, a brothel. No, union also, but they don't show any union stuff. It just
anything. Yeah.
He stands on stage a couple of times.
That's it.
That's pretty much the extent of.
So is it good or not?
No, it's not good. I don't think it's very good. I think it's extremely mediocre. It's very my problem with Bhansali in general is I think it's better than other Bhansali films. I think it's all right. I think it's an okay film to watch. Correct. It did not leave any impact on me personally. Towards the end, the film becomes very preachy, very nonsensical. Not nonsensical, just very out there. Matlab, I already agree. Everybody, I don't think anyone, all sane people agree there should be rights to sex work, right? That people who do sex work should be respected and it should not be looked down upon. But these are really like fucking childish things to sort of make that the focal point of your film rather than a larger world and the dynamics of that world, which we don't get to see.
We don't. There is
very well.
We don't go beneath under the surface at all. It's just very, very surface level. And in fact, I think second half of the film has no steam because it's just going from episode to episode to episode. It reminded me in a way of Bombay Velvet, where things were happening without any impact. You know, वो चल रही है story.
Correct.
अभी ये है important. In fact, इतना बड़ा weird है. Mid point तक लगता है there is a big thing that's gonna happen. Like there is a enemy or an arch enemy shown, and then that arch enemy in the second half just like khatam. Like
there's nothing.
It amounts to nothing.
I made a ton of notes in this movie. I was in the theater and I was having a lot. I was really bored, so I was like, "Chalo yahi karte hain." I made a note which is the one. So, for example, the protagonist doesn't exist in the world. The world exists in the protagonist.
Yeah.
This is a problem with Bhansali and generally big tentpole Bollywood films. You know, why can't there be an enriched world? Even though there are interesting characters around which I would like to know, which it would be interesting to know their motivations or everything. But everyone sort of oscillates around this planet called Gangubai. Okay.
Yeah.
And because she's Alia Bhatt, so now, okay, it's very like, you know, that main character syndrome that you meet people also sometimes in real life, you realize they have a lot of main character syndrome. It's like that a little bit. Also, one of the most like outrageous moments for me in the film was when it breaks one of the most basic writing rules, in my opinion. Okay. And in most people's opinion, which is, just to give people context, Alia Bhatt's character is sort of, she falls in love. She's from Kathiawad in Gujarat. She falls in love with some guy. She runs away with him. This is the beginning of the story, by the way. She runs away with him to Bombay to become an actor. He says that his Masi works in the film industry and she can hook her up, basically. He ends up selling her at a brothel in Kamatipura, which is played with the madam of which is Seema Pava, who I think was one of the few very good actors in the film.
Yeah, she's very good, dude.
Damn good.
Seema Pava is damn good.
Yeah, very like, I got that I had once seen her in a play at Prithvi also, where she was like very, very good. Like she's a genuinely a very good actor, even in Aankho Dekhi. But anyway, so she's sold over there, and then she's over there, and then she's just stuck there, and she accepts her life, and then she goes on to become like the queen of that place, whatever. That's the basic this thing. Halfway through the film, there is a moment where for the first time she calls home. You know, and at some point, very good moment, I thought. I was really liking that till a point where the operator says that there are only 30 seconds left. You know, because that time there were operators for telephone. This is based in the 60s or 50s. And at that point, she starts getting angry at the operator in a completely unrealistic, like written down dialogue kind of way. And starts saying, how can I explain all the pain I've faced in these 15 years in a 30-second call? And I'm like, the first rule in screenwriting and the first thing they teach you is show, don't tell. You're Bhansali, I thought. Show, don't tell. You're telling me exactly what your character is feeling at the probably one of the most pivotal moments in this whole film, or for this character.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, you know, there is a way to like Wes Anderson. We talks about very heavy on design. We spoke about French Dispatch, very, very heavy on these things. This is all surface. There is nothing beyond the symmetrical visuals. Yeah. This is just like his entire. I think he's a very good director of specific scenes and set pieces.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was going to say. There are certain scenes in the movie which I felt were amazing and which work on every level, like form, writing, direction, acting, symmetry, everything. For example, one of my favorite scenes in the movie is, I mean, this is kind of a spoiler for the scene, so I'll not explain it further, but it's essentially a scene where one of the girls from the brothels comes to Gangubai to write a letter to her father. And as Gangubai starts to write it, different parts of the sentence that she's writing, which is to the father, are completed by different women who are sitting beside her. And it sort of, in a single shot, it unites everybody's pain, and it tells you the story of the entire brothel in that one shot, where everybody has the same things to say to their father. Ki, Kash main aapko bata pati, and then some other girl says ki mujhe kitna dard ho raha hai, or whatever. And it's such a beautifully done scene that you feel like if this energy or this consciousness or this sensibility were to carry forward throughout the film, it would have been a masterpiece. There are also some beautiful, in my opinion, very beautiful music videos, you know, in the movie. which are essentially single shot moments. ये एक love track है पूरा film में, which falls flat if not for these music videos, where in a single shot or two shots, an entire beat is covered. And these are very, and अगर तुम देखो ध्यान से ना तो they are done like beat by beat, like actions happen as per the beat or sur or taal of the song. Like किसी का शर्ट नीचे आया on a beat, and then किसी ने glass में शरबत घोला on a beat, like tuck tuck tuck, and the drinks. So it's all very beautifully designed, and we've all heard stories of how Bhansali is obsessive with the number of takes that he takes, and it kind of shows. It shows, the labor shows. But overall कुछ feel ही नहीं होता यार by the end. मतलब तुम you're just left.
It's also, I would like to say, and maybe I'm just not too fond of the whole song and dance thing. So that's a personal thing. I'm not putting it on the film.
Yeah.
But I feel like to say, for a film about the agony of sex work, there's an awful lot of joyous dancing in the film. Okay. Yeah. There is, like, imagine I'm telling, like, there is a moment in the film, they're celebrating Navratri. Before that, like, there's a lot of dark shit happening. Okay. They're like children being sold off. There is, like, it's just a very grimy, very, very unsettling part of our world, right? That we are being shown. And what if after all this shit, the next moment, all the characters in the film are like I'm just like, dude, do you really expect me to take this seriously? Like, I don't know, maybe it's just me and I don't get bored with the emotion, but
I had the same feeling, but I have that feeling with every.
I can't believe I danced on the podcast. The audio people have no idea what's going on.
My point is, यार ऐसा ना मेरे को हर वेस्टर्न कह रहा हूँ, हर म्यूजिकल में लगता है
हाँ
कि भाई टिक टिक बूम में सडनली वो नाचने लग गया यार, उसका रेंट ड्यू है, मरने वाला है वो, लेकिन वो नाच के बोलेगा ना. तो आई थिंक दैट्स द फॉर्म. आई एम रेडी टू forgive that, not forgive that, enjoy it in fact. वो फॉर्म है, बट एट द एंड ऑफ द डे उस फॉर्म में रहकर भी तुम एक अच्छी कहानी एक अच्छे तरीके से बता सकते हो, बट वो भी नहीं हुआ. And I think I genuinely felt some of the performances were the standout parts of the film. Okay. I felt Alia Bhatt was inconsistent, but she was
very inconsistent.
But she was genuinely good at some parts. Like at some parts, she was completely selling it. If you remember the initial bits where she is that naive, you know.
That though I couldn't get behind. That was terrible. She was acting. I don't want to say it because it's like, but she was acting very badly. Okay.
Very. Like, मतलब वो एकदम जैसे school performances.
You're talking about the flashback, na? You're talking about. Yeah. Do you just say, dude? I swear to God, this is my note. Okay, I've written flashback acting is annual day. Okay, that's what I wrote. Yeah.
भाई वो इतनी laughable है ना. And फिर मैं तनुल ठाकुर का इंटरव्यू मतलब रिव्यू पढ़ रहा हूँ कि आलिया भट्ट करियर बेस्ट परफॉर्मेंस. मैं कहा भाई पागल है क्या? You have to see that performance.
ये मुझे I'll have to say this about new age film critics who are also very active on Twitter. Okay, whether it's a Rahul Desai who's been on the podcast and everything. I mean, we don't know him well enough.
And Tanul Thakur also, who
and I've been on Rahul Desai's podcast also, like really nice people and all that. But I feel like there are, you know, when they this is not my Vivek Agnihotri moment, but what I'm saying is when they review a certain film by certain people, right? They seem to go very, like, I just read Rahul Desai's review also where he also said what we were saying, sort of, that the second half is very bad, but he's really praised Alia's acting and he really liked Gheraiyan also. You know, I'm saying they tend to be very kind to a lot of these type of films.
Yeah.
Which are made by your, I don't know, man. I'm sure, like...
भाई अनुपमा चोपड़ा लिखती है कि obviously the Kamathipura that Sanjay Leela Bhansali has created is completely sanitized and completely unrealistic, but that's what you expect. So we're in for the ride. No.
Yeah.
No.
There is a leeway that is given to these people, man. Like, I mean, there is a ridiculousness to the story structure of this film.
It's the they call it like magical realism, bolte hai na. Realistic, but then
forget I'm willing to accept the magical realism in this film, but the problem is the editing of this film is terrible. The story structure is terrible. There is, I think Bharat was saying just now, there are moments in this film where there are, like, years are passing by or months are passing by of significant events that I want to see this character handle, which are just being cut away. Like, it's just going from X to Y to Z. It's not a consistent, also everything in for this character has been made like, okay, she has a problem, she goes to Ajay Devgan. Okay, Ajay Devgan is basically the Morgan Freeman in this film. Okay, from God to Secret, whatever that, or Bruce Almighty. Okay, like he's basically that kind of a all fixer character. Kareem Lala, I'm guessing he's playing. Basically, he's just reprising his role from Once Upon a Time.
Once Upon a Time,
but
same role.
Essentially same beat, same role, same character, same look. And I'm just, it's so done. And you expect people like Bhansali, who I am assuming has no shortage of funds, no shortage of actors, freedom to do as stuff that he wants. Clearly he has that, why so many glaring errors, which I'm sure they also know. It's not like, I mean, we are nobodies, we are like amateurs or whatever, but I mean, there was just a sense of unprofessionalism to the story structure of the film that I found.
I liked this one though. Sorry, I liked Nehru. I liked
Nehru. Yeah,
he was really chill. He's like a chill.
Yeah, Nehru was shown chill, I thought. उसका वो गुलाब वो उसको दे देता है.
तो दिलीप ताहिल वाला सीन नहीं किया.
हाँ, दिलीप ताहिल. I was
expecting Dileep Tahil.
I was expecting one of the 3-4 actors who've ever played Nehru to show up. Thankfully, it was none of them.
ये नया बंदा नहीं. You've seen this face.
Yeah.
It's one of those actors who you've seen the face of. It's like it's like the actor in your film.
Sanjay Gurbakhshani.
He has played Nehru, multiple times.
Yeah, he's acted. Oh
yeah. He has also played Nehru a few times.
In that one, na Bose वाला में भी.
हाँ, उसमें भी और एक और में भी कहीं पर. उसमें तो किया ही था और एक और जगह कहीं पर तो किया था, I remember. But yeah, I saw him in an ad also today in the interview. It was damn funny. But yeah, thank you, sir, if you're watching. But yeah, I don't think so you're watching. But let's take some comments from people. Even Sucharita Tyagi gave good reviews to Gehraiyaan. Rohan Mehra has said. Okay, I haven't read her review or seen her review rather, but yeah. I
saw her review, and like I get, like I liked the film for the same reasons that she did, but she did not like the film for the same reasons I did. So.
Right. Vijay Raj kaisa tha? Ronit Singh has asked. Vijay Raj was in every film. I feel like he was barely there. He was in the trailer marketed. I was actually looking forward to how they're going to tackle something this. It was done like very breezily, like nothing happened.
It was like Vijay Raj performing like Vijay Raj. वो एक type हो गया है ना. And I'm not saying that that's a bad acting performance. It's a very good actor. It's a great, But yeah.
But I also feel like, I don't know if this is like from Alia Bhatt or maybe the film was beginning से structured this way. But इसमें मुझे थोड़ा मतलब पता है दूसरों के सीन काटने वाला सीन लग रहा है मेरे को थोड़ा सा. क्योंकि it really feels like nobody in the film, despite being more interesting characters, like I want to know Razia Bai is Vijay Raj's character.
Yeah.
He plays a trans person. I want to know her story,
Yeah.
I want to know her whole this thing, and I want to know the story of the other people over there. There are so many different moving parts in this place.
But there's one thing that I like about this film. Again, thoda sa ye shayad, I don't know if this is intentional, but it seems intentional to me. Which is that every character, good or bad, is in the end dealt with empathy. Like everybody is sort of rounded off. So even the antagonists, so-called antagonists in the film, at the end of the movie, they are, somewhat made to be normal, like normal humans who make mistakes, who are flawed. And this is true for everybody. Like Seema Pawa's character, she has shades, like there is humanity in it, not like black and white. Which I think is perhaps Bhansali's thing in a lot of his films, where characters, even though they're simplistic, they might be very, on the like they will talk about themselves in third person. ये होता है. Like
एक तो वो बीच में तो dialogue बाजी and Milap Zaveri-ness na was so pissing off, no? Like there are two like people who are going to fight election against each other. They're not going to do shero shairi to tackle each other,
Some of the jokes are fun. Like there's a scene where Alia Bhatt is bathing, and there's a guy.
That was funny, yeah.
there's a guy who's like observing her and she says, "Naha मैं रही हूँ गीला तू क्यों हो रहा है?"
Yeah, and he says आपको देख के.
आपको oh, dude.
That was actually, I thought
that
whole part of the film was done deftly.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. There are moments in this film which are very well directed. Just singular moments here and there, like sparks.
Yeah, I think पता क्या है? I think Sanjay Leela Bhansali is a very, very accomplished director, and if he really wants to, maybe he can make a great film, which I think he did with Black. Black तूने देखी है? I really liked Black. I mean, again, I have to revisit it.
I think you need to revisit it.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
But I feel that कि अगर वो चाहे तो अच्छी फिल्म बना सकता है यार, ऐसा नहीं है. उसका intention वाला बात है कि वो Indian audience को तो यही चाहिए types. That is the staple for a lot of films.
I also feel he should deal with simpler story matter. I don't think he should try to deal with the history of the world specifically, or the history of some social issue. I think he should, for example, as a kid, I watched Hum Dil De Chuke Sanam, which was a good film for what it was doing, what it was talking about, you know.
यार उसकी एक फिल्म उसने बनाई which was not about a social issue and it didn't work. I think Savarya बनाया था उसने. It was a
Did anyone watch Savarya? Did
I saw
Sanjay Leela
Savarya.
Bhansali watch Savarya? Oh,
Savarya is not bad, but again, it's like I don't know, like it's just songs and stuff. It's just songs and
it's just songs and stuff.
मुझे बाजीराव मस्तानी अच्छी लगती है. It's like a guilty pleasure for me because
same. Bajiram Mastani is not a bad movie.
It's not a bad film.
I don't like it.
I mean, sure, it has all the trappings, but I really like it also for Ranveer Singh's performance. I think he has a manic attitude.
Manic
delusional.
Ranveer Singh is manic pixie dream boy. Yeah, he's the antithesis of manic pixie dream girl.
नहीं, उसके साथ ना मुझे रणवीर सिंह पसंद क्यों है, स्पेशली इन बाजीराव की वो कुछ भी कर सकता, लाइक अनप्रेडिक्टेबल है. वो अभी रैंडमली खड़ा होकर नाचने लग जाएगा, यू नो, लाइक दैट.
करेक्ट. करता भी है वो तो.
वो करता भी है.
I think there is a shot in Bajirao. Is it Bajirao or is it Padmavat? I can't tell. Padmavat maybe. He basically has a perfume bottle. He puts it on. He starts throwing it on a girl, and then he starts hugging the girl. Do you guys remember that shit?
No.
It's I don't know. It's like harassment, but by an emperor. So I guess we are all letting go of that.
No, but that, I mean, anything else you want to say on Gangubai, Bharat? I didn't like the film too much.
I would just I mean, you can. I won't say watch it.
Watch it on Netflix.
Watch it on Netflix. It's like a. Yeah.
I heard such a, I went to watch it. I'll tell you in the situation. I had a meeting at 4:30 और मेरे को भरत ने बताया 12 बजे कि वो देखने आ रहा है. बोला चल मैं भी देखता हूँ, then we can do episode today. So I booked like a show right before my meeting got over. तो मैं afternoon में देखने. Afternoon also show was pretty full. And the moment like the credits started, na, the opening credits, उस पे जैसे ही Netflix आया, there was a collective sigh in the audience saying कि oh fuck, I should have just watched. Yeah. I should have just stayed at home. What the fuck?
Is it out on Netflix right now?
No, I don't think so. But it will be now within like a matter of a week or whatever. I'll just go through all my notes and I'll say, oh yeah, one thing I liked was one thing about the underworld that they showed well, which I guess everybody shows in, which was like that Goodfellas moment, which is police force of the underworld, right? Like that's what Kareem Lala, all these people represented. Which is Goodfellas movie dialogue. All the I have written one as all the important conflicts are tackled by Ajay Morgan. She looked the same throughout. Yeah, she looked the same age for the 15 years of the movie.
ये मुझे भी लगा.
She looked the same age. Yeah.
कुछ नहीं किया उसका age मतलब वो किसी ने बोला था ना कि it looks like Flipkart का ad where a kid is acting like an adult. That kept coming back to me when I was watching.
Oh yeah, it is the Flipkart ad.
Yeah.
But Himanshu, do you know that Flipkart ad? That
yeah, the kids. About? There are lots of them.
Kids acting like adults. Yeah, that's a whole campaign. Yeah. Oh my God! Now I need to watch this movie. That's so funny.
With that
so
knowledge,
she acted like kya age? Yeah. What did she act as?
She like starts old? Off being, I think, 17. A teenager, 17ish, up to like the age of 35, and throughout she looks 28. So like that's the movie. And when that's what I'm saying, if they would have just maybe hired like a younger actress to play the younger part, when she's just I don't know, that would have maybe worked, because her acting when she was young was atrocious. to another level. So yeah, I guess that was.
I'll tell you guys something from your review. I feel like you both liked the movie, but you just can't just say it. Like,
what are you saying?
I mean, fair enough.
No, not fair enough. Fuck you, Himanshu. I hated the film with a passion. Not hated. Okay. But I said this. It was that's what we said in the beginning. It's an alright film. There are moments in the film which are good. But the film overall is quite bad. Overall.
हाँ यार, ये तो है.
तो अभी जो सच्चाई है उसका, हाँ. This is like, if someone tells you कि नहीं तू बोल तुझे कहना अच्छी लगी, तू cool बन रहा है. अरे मैं हूँ अभी cool, मैं क्या करूँ? मैं हूँ अभी, क्या करने का अभी?
Honey, fair enough. I just thought that, you kept adding, but one thing I liked about the film, a little
I'll tell you why that is, because I've gotten a little conscious. I'm like, कि थोड़ा compensate ऐसा, like tomorrow we work in the industry, कल को कोई meeting हो जाए किसी के साथ, तो कोई देख लिया गलती से, कोई.
But Aditya, do you like any Bhansali film that you?
I told you I liked Hum Dil De Chuke Sanam as a kid. When I watched it as a kid, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the whole.
I really like Devdas. Huh? I know you guys don't like it, but
I have not watched these two films.
Khamoshiya? Have you seen Khamoshiya?
I haven't seen Khamoshi है पहली बात, but and I have not seen it.
Gehraiyya बोल के ना, it's gone to my head now. No, so yeah, I've seen Khamoshiya on TV.
Gehraiyya has gone to all of our heads. But
तो ये सारी फिल्में अच्छी है, मैं देखूंगा, फिर मैं अभी मैराथन पे जाऊंगा फिर.
By the way, someone called Jay has said, भाई मौसम का ध्यान रखते हुए one episode on Russian cinema, which is I don't know. By the way, there is a war going on currently. Fun times. We could talk about
एक बहुत अच्छी मूवी है.
I just saw Andrei Rublev.
Andrei Rublev 5 घंटे की मूवी है. Please देख लो. Black and white है.
War and Peace बहुत सही फिल्म है. 7 घंटे की. That Waterloo है बहुत.
Andrei Rublev में घोड़ा उड़ा है ना कुछ तो.
घोड़ा आता रहता है. घोड़ा means death.
घोड़ा भी है और dash भी है. Sorry. बड़ा. Complete silence. हाँ. But I was going to say that, right before Science episode, I saw a podcast episode by Ranveer Allahabadiya and a guy called Abhijit Chawda, who has denied the Aryan migration and immigration, whatever theory, migration invasion theory, based on his own this thing, whatever. So, and those people are doing a 2-hour discussion on the Russian conflict. तो आई फील लाइक कि हम भी बात कर ही सकते हैं उसके बारे में, बट करना नहीं चाहिए. हमें हमारी थोड़ी मर्यादा रखनी चाहिए लाइफ के लिए. वॉच कम एंड सी. कम एंड सी इज अ
भाई कम एंड सी.
इट्स अ ब्यूटीफुल.
अगर कम एंड सी देखी ना तुम लोगों ने, तो मैं उसके साथ में रिकमेंड करना चाहूंगा. क्या फिल्म का नाम भूल गया. कम एंड सी जिसने बनाई है ना, उसकी वाइफ, हाँ, लेरिसा शेपिटकोव को सर्च कर लेना. शी इज द वाइफ ऑफ द गाय हु मेड कम एंड सी. And she's made a war film which is even better than Come and See.
Which is called?
I forget.
Okay. So people have to do some digging.
But Larisa Shepitkov is the name, and she died at like 27 or 28 or something. And she made like 2 films which are considered masterpieces, and that's it. Yeah.
But yeah, Come and See is beautiful. Anything else on Gangubai Kathiawadi?
No, dude. Nothing.
Okay. Chalo. With that, we're done with Gangubai. Our review is out there for you guys. Let us know in the comments if you agree or disagree. Meanwhile, we can move on to the next film, which is Dhuin. This is a film that you might not be able to find anywhere. Just reminding everyone, it is Mumbai Film Festival. Mami is available online this year, unfortunately, but कुछ तो मिल रहा है. तो and it's only Indian films. I think that कुछ चंद फिल्म नहीं है.
I think वो धीरे-धीरे करके, क्योंकि कैटेगरीज मुझे सिर्फ 2 या 3 दिखी थी.
हाँ, exactly.
All the categories are not available. I don't know.
Correct. So you can watch it on their website. You can log in. It's free. You can watch the movie for free. This specific film, it's by Achal Mishra. You can watch it till tomorrow afternoon, 12 o'clock. It's only a 40-minute film, 45-minute film actually. So you can watch it quickly, and that you can check that. What other film did he make? Achal Mishra?
Gamak Ghar.
Yeah.
Gamak Ghar. Hey, Himanshu, you know the guy who made Gamak Ghar. Was it this guy?
Yeah, it's this guy. I don't know him.
Can we get him on the podcast? But तेरी कोई jack है?
I know the guy who shot the movie. Na, he's a good friend of mine.
Oh, nice.
And I met him like a long time ago, years ago, and abhi bhi baat, I'm in touch. So his name is Anand Bansal, and yeah, I can call him. In fact, I have said on the podcast a long time ago that we could get him. So
भाई अचल मिश्रा का एज का सीन है यार, वो 25 साल का बंदा है, अभी 25 का है वो। उसने 2 साल पहले रिलीज की थी गमक घर, मतलब वो 23 का था जब रिलीज हुई थी, और वो
गमक घर ना
जीती थी। सॉरी हाँ,
so we can call, yeah, we should definitely call him. Also, sorry, I just want to clarify something. My friend Shravan Banerjee has said, I don't care about your opinion, and Mr. Pink has replied to him defending our honor, saying why not. Okay, so I would just like to say Shravan is a friend and he's just fucking around, but yeah, carry on.
You were saying
Himanshu, since you can watch the film on Mumbai Film Festival website till tomorrow 12 afternoon. Only a 40-minute film. I would recommend watch it. Himanshu, your thoughts to begin with, and give us a little synopsis of what the film is. One-liner.
Okay, the film is about this guy. I'm forgetting his name, but he's like our age, right? 20.
Yeah, 25.
25. He says it in the film. He's a guy from
Darbhanga,
Bihar, and he's the son of a railway employee. He has a railway house, like a quarters. He's living there, and his dad is about to retire, so they need to shift out, and he basically wants to be an actor. So he's joined theater, and he's trying to put himself out there by doing these municipal social issue plays. But
street
plays, na? What do you call?
Nukkad natak bolte hain usko.
He's doing Nukkad natak. So basically, he's struggling also financially. There are lots of issues in his life. But aren't we supposed to not spoil it?
That's it. I mean,
yeah, that's about it.
That's about it.
One liner बोला तू 7 लाइन बोला मेरे को. Film से लंबा तेरा वो था.
नहीं, but this is starting में पता चलता है, right? So it's not. But I'll tell you what.
Spoiler ही है नहीं exactly.
हाँ, if you watch the movie, it feels like start होते ही खत्म हो गया. Types. I felt like
it's a long short in a sense, if I can say that. It's Bharat was telling me, and we were talking on a phone call before this, where we were talking about how this Dhuin is basically a mini disciple, essentially.
Yeah. I felt the same. I was reminded of the disciple without all the music. Okay.
What did you think?
Himanshu just saw Shravan's comment on live chat. That's why he's laughing.
What is it?
We said Nukkad natak, and he said nipple natak. So yeah. So
I love how I love two references. Okay, like cinema. I don't know. Like in the movie, they talk about Pankaj Tripathi a few times.
They did.
And I thought it was really. I don't know if it was intentional, but I was laughing a lot.
Yeah.
And it was funny. And the second time when they were mentioning Kirastamina, I thought that felt like us. It felt like us
that's what I wanted to
podcasters.
say. So that, just to tell people who haven't seen the film, there is a moment in this film where this guy lives in the small town and he keeps meeting these people. कोई बॉम्बे में acting कर रहा है, वो यहाँ पर आया थोड़े दिन के लिए. He goes to meet some short filmmaker in Darbhanga. The 3-4 guys, and they're talking, and I was watching for the podcast. I was laughing my ass off because they were talking about like Tarkovsky and like Kiarostami. किसी ने वर्कशॉप किया,
वो लोग बैठे दरभंगा के एक फील्ड में ग्राउंड में
स्कूटी बांध के और वहाँ पे बात कर रहे हैं. So which also, and about how this guy feels intimidated by these people talking about these things. But for us, we know that this is all nonsense shit that fucking student filmmakers also talk about all the time, like us. So it was a fun experience that way to I always like it when people make fun of themselves, especially filmmakers or people like, I'm sure Achal Mishra also somewhere relates to these people, right? I mean, obviously. So
and they do talk about, like, one short filmmaker is talking about how he's making this really deep
docudrama,
and he's explaining, and all I could think of was Achal Mishra's first film, because it is that essentially. If you look at Gamak Ghar, it is that, but a lot of fun. Very good.
Very good film, very well shot, very very compact. Again, what Himanshu said is right. Like shuru se khatam hoti hai, sort of. And
I think it's also like, even though it's very art film kind of a aesthetic and style, but it never felt long or like.
Never, yeah. I wanted to watch.
मैं तो बताता हूँ, 2-3 शॉट ना बहुत लंबे रखे, 2-3-5 मिनट के, वो सब काट दो ना तो मूवी आधे घंटे की भी नहीं है. Like and there's one shot जिसमें credit हो रहा है. Like it's just a shot of and it's a very good shot. Like I love these things. Okay, I like to watch them. Now the thing is credits. I just paused to see at what point in the movie how much percentage of the movie is over कि अभी credits आ रहा है. I felt like more than 10-15% of the movie was over. Okay, and the like अगर एक feature length film होती है ना तो credit इस point पे आते तो ठीक है. Like it's there. But this is a little thing, right? It's 30 or it's 40, 45. And the last shot also, na, it goes on.
Yeah.
He takes it. And I'll tell you what happens with the, like, as a viewer, you start noticing different things in the same frame that,
Yeah.
You start looking at the guy differently. His face starts
Sorry. I thought delay tha. Yeah.
I think it becomes like a documentary only, essentially. You start noticing more.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. That is what pulls me in. I feel like uska room mein na just static shots, when you look around the room a bit, like, because he's just like listening to a video, so there's nothing to see. He's not acting or something, or he is, but there is more to look at, right, in the room. So it's interesting. I really like this kind of, it's like mellow and tender, and it gives us a lot of space to feel the area.
I actually want to ask you guys, because we're soon running out of time, because I have to leave soon. But what did you guys feel for this character? This character is from a small town, as Himanshu said, wants to do movies, wants to come to Bombay to become an actor, all of that. Do you feel a sense of sadness? Do you feel a sense of, what do you guys feel when watching? As people who are, Himanshu maybe not actively, but Bharat and I are working over here, of course, with a lot more privilege, clearly. But what do you guys think when you see stuff like this?
I can relate. I can relate to a lot of things that this guy's feeling. Because you, at the same time, you're an artist. You think of yourself as this person who's creating art. And this is in the first shot, in the first sentence, right? He says, "Chal, ready na tu perform karne ke liye." He's like, "Which Shriram Center?"
He's like Shriram, exactly.
And that's true. मुझे तो वो लगता रहता है, मैं जब भी कोई काम करता हूँ, अब जैसे वेब सीरीज के लिए काम कर रहा हूँ, राइट, तो कोई भी कहता है हाँ चल तो मेरे को ये लगता है हाँ ठीक है यार, वेब सीरीज बना रहे हैं, ठीक है ना, यूट्यूब के लिए. But there are so many such moments that I could relate to. So I felt like this is relatable content for us. I feel it's like filter.
Also, what I felt was that while watching, like, for example, that discussion that these short filmmakers are having with this guy, he's an actor who wants to do stuff, और वो लोग जो discussion कर रहे हैं about all these films, and even you can see the wheels turning in the protagonist's head कि यार ये मतलब ये एक तो मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा है लोग बात क्या कर रहे हैं, ठीक है. Secondly, I'll have to learn this shit. Thirdly, what the fuck are these people are fucking idiots anyway. Like there's a moment where you find out that वो एक बंदा होता है जो NSG से graduate करके आता है और he's उसका एक कॉन्वेंस, so he wants to ask him for a favor कि मैं बॉम्बे आऊंगा, आपका नंबर देना. तो वो, but the moment that guy leaves, he said उसके पास काम होता तो इधर थोड़ी ना बैठा होता, which is also true, right? Like, so do you think these kind of talks of, like, world cinema, art, literature, whatever, people only take it seriously once you're successful? Like, why is it that it was funny to me also, but why is it that it's a subject of mockery by four guys sitting in a ground, as we have often done also, and talking about this stuff? Why is that not valid? Or do you guys think that is what the film is trying to talk about? Or what is your view of all these?
I'll tell you what, I felt like the movie had a very बहुत ही अच्छा point है जो शायद if I say it थोड़ा spoil हो जाएगा. मैं बोलूँ क्या?
बोल दो. Spoiler alert.
ठीक है, spoiler alert. हाँ. So the question that they ask him, now, do you think an artist needs to have limitations? Right, that's the question they ask him, and he's like, "Kya? Matlab kya?" He doesn't get it. I feel like his life is that, like his life is like limitations, and he is trying to be an artist. Of course, they ask about different things, like in a movie or a set, if an artist should have limitations, right? That's a different context. But when they ask him this question, I feel like उसका life वो बोल सकता है यार, अगर उसको समझ में आता सवाल ना तो वो पूरा बोल देता. And वो नहीं आया तो फिर नहीं बोला, वरना वो मतलब he didn't need to be asked that question. Had he been able to express himself better, he could. So I felt like, I don't know, your question was a little different, my answer was a little different.
No, all I was saying was that this whole thing of like, not like talking about art or discussing art in this what we also do.
That's all. So I felt like
those characters were a little different. They're being condescending to him, so there is an additional layer of the fiction and all that. But in general, do you think it's only taken seriously when it comes from like for example, if we had like say 1 million subs, like we could speak any kind of shit and it would be taken seriously. And with like right now we have 16 people watching. Anything that we say, however serious, can be mocked because it's not watched by too many people.
I also to me, what it represented, at least personally, I'm sure maybe it was not intended or maybe more things were intended, but मुझे ऐसा लगा कि कहीं ना कहीं वो ये है कि उसका घर एक तो छूटने वाला है, उसका खाने पीने को नहीं है, उसको मौकरी मिलती है कि भाई, तो उसका बेसिक्स सॉर्टेड नहीं है. So maybe to somebody जिसका रोटी कपड़े और मकान पे आ रखी है, उसको ये सब हाई फंडा बातें फनी ही लगेंगी, right? So that is what I thought the lens of the film was. कि भाई इस बंदे के पास एक तरफ तो ये रोना सीख रहा है कि एक्टिंग में रोते कैसे हैं.
Even though उसके रियल लाइफ में इतना दुख है बेसिकली.
दुख है. हाँ. And he's still trying to learn to cry. So वो मुझे लगा कि कहीं these conversations are funny to him or astounding to him because उसका फाइट और भी फंडामेंटल चीजों के लिए है. नॉट वो मैस्लो का वो होता है ना कि उसका सर्वाइवल का बात है. ये लोग बात कर रहे हैं कि आर्टिस्ट को कैसा होना चाहिए. करेक्ट. हाउ शुड पीपल लाइक वो उसके समझ ही नहीं आ रहा है उसको. एंड सो या I mean
it does get pretty complex, when you're talking about this stuff because this guy aspires to be something that is clearly very out of his reach. You know what I'm saying? It's completely, it is gonna take like mountains to move to like actually get to his उसको जो चाहिए. तू क्या हंस रहा है? तू कमेंट से क्या हंस रहा है क्या भरत?
नहीं मेरे को एक और चीज याद आई.
हाँ बोल ना.
मुझे ये भी लगता है कि when I see his face ना, I know he's not gonna make it because of the way he smiles. You can just tell कि ये बंदे में नहीं है. It almost like how you feel the same for Disciple का character. Disciple. कि तुझे पता है भाई नहीं कर सकता. But the tragedy is that he doesn't know it.
Correct.
So that is what makes it even more tragic comic.
And his parents, like his parents are really old. His dad is going for a job at this age, while his son wants to go to Bombay and become an actor. While they don't have any kind of money or any kind of financial.
And then why is that relatable to me? Because मुझे लगता है fuck, क्या कोई ऐसा इंसान है जो मेरी तरफ देख के बोल रहा होगा यार ये देखो कितना ट्राई कर रहा है.
100% है ना. तो हर चीज के views है. तू देख, if for example if you like you are decently well off and all that, like like हम तीनों, if for us to feel like that, it would have to be like we would have to go to like like a mansion party of some super actor
or a yacht,
and how they will look at us कि वो बेचारा गरीब podcast करता है, like it'll be like, or a yacht as Himanshu said. I just got it. But I really enjoyed the film. I think for anyone who wants to be an artist, the nurturing of dreams and how difficult it is is very, very and the idiosyncrasies of why when people decide to be artists and how the world looks at them and how they will look at themselves. काफी अच्छे से sum up किया 40 minutes में. But mini Disciple to a large extent. Yeah. Anything else, guys?
No, that's all. I think I'll recommend people who've not seen Gamaghar to watch it. I think it's on one of these platforms.
Movie में था शायद, उसके बाद it got onto some other platforms as well.
Type का मैंने देखा था. मैंने 40-50 रुपए देके देखी थी. But it's a slower film. It's a longer film. It's not as compact as this. It's not as tight as this. So it does have moments where it just like drag. Not, I won't say drag, but it has more ठहराव, and I think that was a more introspective film than this, I feel, because it was not about the condition of an artist in a fucked up world. It was about, you guys know what Gamaghar is about?
Yeah. I'll tell you. It's basically about a house.
Exactly.
In I think बिहार में ही है कहीं,
बिहार में ही है कहीं.
and it's the film is about the people who live in and around the house and how over the years they have lived their life and gone on into different things. So the first film is the first half, the first quarter नहीं क्या
Third,
बोलोगे,
the first
one
third.
third, first third is like shot very well, very pretty, and it looks very nostalgic. Like they've shot it like ekdam, kids are going to the mango tree and they're plucking, and then there is a well, and then they're making there's some wedding celebration going on. Everybody's like happy, right? Like then the second one is like everybody's gone on to like the city, and 5 years or 10 years have passed. So the second third is basically a little somber, and people are reminiscing about what happened.
Spoiler मत देना मेरे को देखने की है.
नहीं कुछ स्पॉइलर नहीं. अगर मैं बोल भी दूं ना कि फर्स्ट हाफ यही है, थर्ड हाफ इज लाइक पीपल हैव ऑलरेडी lived their life and we are watching them again in the same house, and they are like again nostalgic about what happened in the second half and the first half, and we find out a lot of details about people's lives just in 1 second. कि that girl we saw and we remember कि first movie में थी या first half में थी, she's like this now.
Yeah.
10 साल हो गए and her life has become tragic now, and it's just a sentence, you don't even see her face or whatever, so it gets to you. And then the ending is very it's quite heartbreaking.
So I'll watch this film. We should try to get both the cinematographer and the director on the podcast ideally and discuss both these films.
Definitely.
If we can try to do that. And by the way, I will that ends the episode, I guess. Dhuin and Gangubai Kathiawadi. One of these films is what is very good. The other one you can watch if you want. It's average. You have to figure out which one is which. Also, we have to give our recommendations, but before that, I would just like to add, please subscribe to our channel, like the stream, because we're going to get many more guests. We're getting Amit Verma soon on the podcast. We're getting Abhinandan Sekhri from News Laundry, definitely after the elections are over. So yeah, so all of that stuff is happening. More guests we are trying to access, so that will be happening. Please do subscribe. Now recommendations. What are your recommendations for the week, Bharat?
यार मेरे अभी तो कुछ है नहीं, मैंने देखा ही नहीं कुछ. I haven't watched
चलो
anything.
ठीक है, तो your recommendation is Dhuin, I guess. We can take it as. So Himanshu, your recommendation for the week.
I saw 2 films. One is I don't even know how to pronounce it. Licorice Pizza, na?
Licorice Pizza by
Licorice.
PT.
But I haven't seen the ending of it, so I can't say for sure. But it's actually a good film. मतलब अच्छा है. तुम लोग भी देखो. I think we should review it together because फिर PTA के बारे में बात कर सकते हैं. I haven't seen Punch Drunk Love, but people are saying it's like a spiritual sequel. They said it in the group, right? तो मुझे लग रहा है कि if I watch Punch Drunk Love after this, I might really enjoy it and connect it, and then we can talk about
maybe
it.
Our next episode can be a PTA episode, and we can prepare our audience right now for it. So maybe if possible, we can do Licorice Pizza and even Punch Drunk Love or other PTA films next week. How's about that?
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Great.
And उसके अलावा I saw Tinder Swindler. देखा है क्या तुम लोगों ने?
Tinder Swindler I did not watch, but I know the whole story.
What's this?
थोड़ा crazy है.
It's
documentary
a true crime documentary on Netflix. So that's your recommendation, Himanshu?
हाँ. Also you can watch my movie on this channel.
Tell the name of the movie. Sell it properly.
The name of the film is Sadhu Baba, and it's a horror short. It's on this channel. You can watch it. अभी 15 दिन भी नहीं हुए यार निकले, तो थोड़ा प्रमोट कर रहा हूँ मैं.
नहीं कर. Of course.
कोई पूछ रहा है राइट विंग में इंटेलेक्चुअल क्वेश्चन मार्क. देख राइट विंग में इंटेलेक्चुअल बहुत है, बट साथ साथ में वर्जिन्स भी बहुत ज्यादा हैं. तो दैट इज द राइट विंग्स प्रॉब्लम. आई थिंक इज दैट आई थिंक मोर देन इंटेलेक्चुअल दे नीड टू स्टार्ट लिविंग लाइफ अ लिटिल मोर. Sorry.
Actually, yeah, this is an interesting question. Right wing के intellectuals कौन है? मुझे पता ही नहीं.
यार कोई लोग बोलते हैं, for example, these days the person who's the most sound the most is Anand Ranganathan. Anand Ranganathan is a joke to me, okay? Because years ago he used to be on Hafta, News Laundry's weekly podcast, where he would be like the rightish voice, but he was so cowardly and he was so like उसकी point ऐसे डेसिमेट होते थे. ठीक है, मतलब वो he would, and not like a decimate when I say it might be taken wrongly, but not in a Ben Shapiro kind of way, in a very logical kind of way. In fact, he would be forced to take like non-right wing positions. Abhishek Iyer, Mitra Sawan se Abhijit Iyer, he's blocked me on Twitter He's also, I saw him in Delhi. I was in Delhi twice. Both the times I saw him at the same cafe. तो मेरे को टपली मारने का मन किया पर नहीं किया. But so like these guys, like JSI, all these people, the problem is they're not intellectuals, they're reactionaries.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a difference between being an intellectual and being a reactionary. Now you Google that and find out for yourself.
है ना, ये हमेशा साले ऑपरेशन ओलंपिक्स के चक्कर में पड़े रहते हैं.
The fucking idiots. They don't have a position of themselves. They just have something that they can respond to. That's not so. That person can never be an intellectual. So yeah. My recommendation of the week, quickly, I'll just give you guys, is an audiobook. So I'm doing that book series, which I haven't started yet because I haven't had the time. But hopefully next week we should have the first few episodes of that out, where I'm reading 40 books here. You can check out the trailer of that on this channel called Untitled Chapter. So I was kind of behind on this month. I finished one book. I am going to finish another book in the next few days, but I didn't have time to read another one. So I am currently listening to an audiobook called Empire of Pain. And it's a history of this family called the Sackler family. If any of y'all know about the opioid crisis in the US, which has been officially declared an epidemic. So these opioids are these opium-based medicines which are very, very heavy and addictive and very, very damaging to people if they take it casually, and a lot of people do. It's about the family that controlled the pharmaceutical company that made this drug, and also generally had a hold over the massive pharma industry in the US. And it is shocking the kind of things you come across in that audiobook. So my recommendation is that it's on Audible. I'm currently listening to that. So I guess that was the episode for today.
I had a recommendation because I've watched this. I forgot all about it, but it's a beautiful show. It's called Parts Unknown by Anthony Bourdain, who is
he was a chef.
He passed away, right?
Yeah, he passed away, and but the show is so good. It's one of his most famous shows called Parts Unknown, and it's streaming on Woot. And essentially what he does is he goes to these iconic places like Los Angeles or Colombia or Myanmar, and he only looks at like street food. Like he'll go to Los Angeles and only talk about Korean street food, and he'll meet the masters of Korean street food in Los Angeles. And it's so refreshing because he doesn't have opinions which are filtered, in the sense he will not say, oh, this is lovely, oh, this is amazing. He'll just say, yeah, this is very interesting food, this is very good food. He will never be fake. And through the food of the place, he will actually have the whole history and culture explored. So, for example, I don't know if you guys knew this, but in 1992 in Los Angeles, there were race wars.
Oh yeah, of course.
I did not know.
There were massive riots.
And these guys, these Koreans, they were attacked. So what they would do, they would defend their property by being on the rooftops with guns. They would guard their places because they're like, the police is not coming to save us. Okay. And they're like, we have to defend our own places. So he delves into the history of all of these things just by talking about food. It's beautiful. Parts Unknown. It's on Woot. Just watch it. I think it's like the most bingeable thing I've watched. It's great.
चलो ठीक है, मैंने Woot का subscription में से रोडीज के लिए रखा हुआ था अभी तक to watch interviews, but this will also come in handy. So those are the recommendation. Parts Unknown on Woot. Empire of Pain on Audible. It's an audiobook. And Himanshu, तेरी क्या था recommendation? Just repeating.
Licorice
Pizza by PTA. So yeah, that was the episode today, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Please do subscribe on to the channel and like this episode. Oh, but there is a comment I want to address which came on early, which is a suggestion for us, Bharat and Himanshu. This is suggested by, I'll tell you, Manu Vasista had said, I think that comment is also disappearing now. Why don't you guys do 3 episodes on 3 films that each of you like and discuss them? So Bharat gets 3 films or one, whatever, your favorite films barring across languages. And then we can do 1 episode you, 1 episode me, 1 episode Himanshu.
Why not?
It's a good idea. That can actually plug in a content hole for us also. Whenever we don't know what to stream on. So, all right. Thank you guys for joining.